Thank you. I'm by the names of Ventuase, and I'm going to talk about the given questions in the pre-class. The first question was discussing about job costing system, where we found that there are key components which include direct material, direct labor, and overhead. And to differentiate them, there is a need of first understanding what direct materials are. And we saw that direct materials, these are materials which are directly involved in the production of a product. An example can be the bricks, cement that can be used when constructing a house, and another example can be when constructing a given school. The materials like windows can be in terms of direct materials. And when taking an example in an industry, when making soap, the ingredients used when making soap, those are direct materials. And continuing about the direct labor, this includes the costs incurred, like when there is paying off the workers involved in the production process or in the process of making a certain project. An example can be the wage given to the labor. That can be a direct labor. And other examples can be when constructing a house, the salary of paying electricians to make a house, those can be the direct materials. And when talking about overhead, these are like the administrative costs incurred by a given business. An example can be when you work in an industry and the cost of renting an office of the supervisor of the whole industry can be an overhead, because that supervisor is not directly involved in the production process and does not have to take part when making a product. And the second question was about differentiating job costing and process costing, where I found that job costing is mainly involved with making a unique service or making a unique job that is not similar to others, and costs are incurred specifically basing on one job. An example can be the construction of a house. It depends on the needs of the customer by making it specific. Continuing about process costing, this is done on similar projects without specifying on a given job. An example can be that the costs are incurred basing on the process, and the costs can be transferred from one process to another. An example can be the manufacturing process and selling process for an industry which deals with manufacturing plastics. That can be a process that can be deferred to another process, which can be the intermediate process. And lastly, we were given to talk about 7-step approach to job costing. And the first step is identify the job, where there is a need of determining the job and identifying the uniqueness of that job being done. And after identifying the job, you estimate the cost that you may incur, and then you relate to the market by determining the actual costs. And after determining the actual cost, there is a need of assigning cost to a given job. After assigning the cost, there is a monitor to identify some changes needed, and lastly, the job can be completed. Thank you. That was all.